Hi, my name is Schee, and I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to chat with you about the design, bid, and build method for construction projects. As in the name, this method has three phases: design, bid, and build. So first to the design phase. In this phase, the end goal is to have a set of construction drawings that are finalized with the owner, architect, and engineers. The design phase starts with an owner hiring an architect to design his or her building. They come up with conceptual designs that the owner would like to build. And during this time, the architect would also engage engineers. As an aside, a short acronym for building drawings is AMEP drawings, AMEP, which are architectural, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. And let's not forget the civil engineer who does all the site work. So during this phase, the design starts to evolve and multiple iterations of all the drawings are created. All the engineers make changes to their drawings, and also the architect. The idea is to get the conceptual design to a full set of construction drawings that include all the cross-section and details for a GC to bid on. This will give a GC the most information they need to complete a bid. I say most because sometimes minor details are missed that the GC will ask about during the bid or build phase, but we'll talk about that more in a second. Back to the design phase. Once it is determined by the owner, architect, and engineer that the drawings are designed to the owner's desire and that it follows all building codes, the drawings are submitted for permitting. This way, permits can be ready for pickup as soon as possible. Now to the bid phase. Once those drawings are submitted for permit, they are also ready to go out for bid. At this point, the owner should have vetted GCs on their qualifications, such as references, past projects, and financial stability. The owner would send out the drawings to these vetted GCs, but along with those full set of drawings, the owner would include a timeline of when the bids are due, how to fill out the owner's bid form, when is the walkthrough, when are RFIs due, OFCI items, which are owner furnished, contractor installed items, expected ground break, and approximate time of the project. Also, the owner would provide a spec book of different types of materials to use, such as door pulls, ADA signage, toilet specs, type of glass, etc. Lastly, an owner can include names of specific subcontractors they want to use because the owner liked them on past projects or wants to give a new sub a shot. All this information is important because it allows the owner to compare the bids apples to apples. I warn you, if there is a gray area in any of that information, the GC will decide how to interpret it, which can hurt you during the construction phase with change orders or time delays. But to be realistic, it is nearly impossible to get all the details right for the GC. The job for the owner and architect is to minimize the gray area as much as possible. During this bid phase, GCs will have time to submit RFIs. RFIs are requests for information. Sometimes it is clarity on information that was already provided, and other times it leads into more construction drawings to be designed by the architect and or engineers. During this time, any new drawings or slip sheets will be submitted to the GC and be included in the contract. Once all the GC bids are submitted, the owner will qualify those bids. This means the owner will review the bids and the bid form and any exceptions that an individual GC has made. Sometimes an owner will call a GC to clarify their bid. This will weed out the oranges and make the GC complete their bid to look more like an apple. I say this facetiously because sometimes GCs bid different ways and the owner is responsible to hone in to make it more look alike. Finally, the lowest qualified bid would be awarded the contract. Once again, the contract would include the construction drawings, spec book, ground break info, RFIs, new construction drawings, which are the addenda drawings. And keep note that we're trying to have these drawings in for permitting, hopefully ready to pick up by the time the owner awards the contract. Let's cross our fingers. Now to the construction phase. The GC is now ready to build. He will provide a schedule of when work will be done. Typically, weekly meetings are set up with the GC, maybe the architect, but also the owner, which are done on site to talk about the progress of the project. Also, this is a time when an owner and architect walk around the construction to ensure the GC is building the project per the drawings and not taking shortcuts. It is better to do this now instead of down the line because it could be harder to fix and more costly. Be astute when you do your construction walks and keep your eyes open. The GC is responsible for this schedule to make sure that the building is built to spec, responsible for all the subcontractors, all the supply deliveries, and all the third-party inspections. But during this phase, sometimes additional questions are asked about the drawings. The architect should respond to them in a timely manner. If those answers result in a cost, those are considered change orders that must be approved by the owner. Ideally, a change order should be approved before the work is complete, but realistically, to stay with a schedule, sometimes a GC might take the risk and do the work and ask for money later. Sometimes this is good, and sometimes it is bad. That is negotiable. Then, when most work is complete, a punch list walk can start. This is when the owner makes a list of issues that need to be addressed before the GC can get his final payment. Typically, 10% of the project is withheld until the punch list is completed. The certificate of occupancy is received, and all the liens have been waived. If all of these are met, the GC gets final payment. But an owner would have at least a 1-year warranty. So even though the project is done and the building is in use, the GC will still have to address any construction issues for at least 1 year. Those are the 3 phases. To summarize, the owner is the nucleus of this project. He or she hires the architect to design the building, then he or she hires the GC to build the project. This way of building might be the longest of the 3 methods, but it results in better construction cost estimating. This is for the more risk-averse owner, and this is the design, bid, and build method. Now I will give it to Charles and Mike to continue the presentation. Take it away.